Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Nelson for Catholic Newsbreak. Here's what's happening this week in the news. We begin with news from the Vatican. It was reported earlier this week by the Vatican that Pope Benedict XVI had finished his first cycle of ad limina visits with bishops from every country in the world and would begin all over again this year. But now the Vatican has announced it overlooked the bishops of the Netherlands who made their last ad limina visit with Blessed John Paul II in 2004. Archbishop Lorenzo Baldessari, secretary of the Congregation for Bishops, which coordinates the visits, said his office was informed by the prefecture of the papal household that when the last group of French bishops met Pope Benedict in November, the cycle was complete. But now it is found that the Netherlands had been overlooked. A spokesman for the Dutch bishops said that the heads of the 7 dioceses of the Netherlands expect to make their visits either late this year or early in 2014. The only other bishops to miss out on their ad limina visits are the bishops of communist-controlled mainland China, but that is because government restrictions prevent them from making the visits. The Code of Canon Law calls for the heads of every diocese in the world to make their ad limina visits every 5 years. However, with almost 2,900 dioceses in the world and the Pope's packed schedule, this round of visits took 7 years. In news now from Rome, though it isn't a religious-sponsored event, thousands of Latin American students that make their way to Rome on the Interrail train path make sure to make the Vatican a stop on their whirlwind tour of Europe. Rome Reports spoke with some students about their trip and the importance of seeing the Pope.
Over the years, millions of students have traveled all the way from Latin America to Europe to take on a unique adventure. Rome is one of the key stops in the so-called Interrail train pass, so many youths take advantage of this to see the Pope up close.
Es como importante decir, fui a Roma y no solo fui a Roma.
It's important to say I went to Rome, but not only did I go to Rome, I also saw the Pope. It's an inexplicable feeling. We went inside and asked each other, do you feel something? What is it? I don't know what it is, but it's a very strong and beautiful sensation.
These Argentines say their trip has been a unique and unforgettable time. In fact, they say that despite everything they've seen and experienced, seeing the Pope has been one of the highlights.
I just wanted to hug him. We tried to get closer because people were holding his hand and kissing it. We wanted to get close enough to hug him. Out of nowhere, it's very striking to suddenly hear, "Long live the Pope." People don't stop clapping. It's actually very powerful to see just how important the Pope is to people.
Every Wednesday, similar experiences take place when thousands of people from every corner of the world visit the Vatican to hear the Pope's general audience and the catechesis he gives to Christians.
Looking now at news from around the country, Bishop Joseph P. McFadden of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, chairman of the Committee on Catholic Education of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, issued a one-page report summarizing a 10-year review of the application of Ex Corde Ecclesiae for the United States. The review shows the outcome of conversations between bishops and college and university presidents in their dioceses. In the review, bishops reported that they believe institutions of Catholic higher education have made definitive progress in advancing Catholic identity. They also reported that the relationship between bishops and presidents on the local level can be characterized as positive and engaged, demonstrating progress on courtesy and cooperation in the last 10 years. Ex Corde Ecclesiae for the United States is a document that went into effect in 2001 and outlines how U.S. Catholic colleges and universities should implement the 1990 Vatican document on Catholic higher education called Ex Corde Ecclesiae, from the heart of the Church. In other news now from the Vatican, the Christmas season ends officially on the Feast of the Baptism of the Lord, so there is still time to continue singing your favorite Christmas carols, and one of those may be Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Monsignor Philip Whitmore from the Vatican Secretary of State spoke recently with Catholic News Service about the Christmas carols of Charles Wesley.
The Wesley hymns were used for teaching people about the faith, and in Methodist worship there wasn't an enormous liturgical element in the way that there is in the Catholic and the Anglican traditions. But the popular participation in hymn singing was the way in which they communicated doctrine. So we've got Hark the Herald Angels Sing, which is a great Christmas carol by Wesley, O Thou Who Camest from Above, which is a wonderful hymn about the Holy Spirit, and then Love Divine or Love's Excelling, a great kind of reflection on the life to come, on what awaits us in heaven, full of material really that's very suitable for prayerful reflection and indeed for teaching. So it's great that we're able to make use of that richness of that tradition in our own worship as well.
And finally in the news, Auxiliary Bishop Oscar Cantu of San Antonio has been named by Pope Benedict XVI to head the Diocese of Las Cruces, New Mexico. Bishop Cantu, who is 46 years old, replaces Bishop Ricardo Ramirez, who is 76 years old and whose resignation was accepted by the Pope, having reached the age limit. Bishop Cantu, 46, has been an auxiliary bishop in San Antonio since 2008. The man he succeeds in Las Cruces had likewise been a San Antonio auxiliary bishop in his first episcopal assignment before being appointed to head the Las Cruces diocese. The Diocese of Las Cruces was established in 1982, and Bishop Ramirez was named its first bishop. The date for his installation has not been determined. Well, that is all the information we have for you at this time. Please stay with Catholic TV for more Catholic news. Until then, I'm Kevin Nelson, and I'll see you next time on Catholic Newsbreak.